Okay, my face is prepped. I've got my sunscreen on. Let's add in foundation. And I'm going to show you by using my finger, although this isn't typically the way I love to apply my makeup, but it's probably helpful for you to see placement. I'm going to just use my finger. I'm going to pick up contour. Your contour has, it's a little stiffer of a product, so I like to apply my my contour and then allow it to kind of warm up with my skin anyway. So if you're younger and you have not begun to lose volume here, you can make like an E or a 3 with your contour. I skip this area because, as you can tell, I'm kind of losing a little volume in there. Then I'm going to go to the top of my ear to place my contour, and I am just hugging my cheekbone. So I want the heaviest amount of product back here, and then it just kind of very lightly just kind of goes down, just like that. This is olive. I like olive because it's a little warmer, and I feel like as we age, the warmer contours look a little better on our skin. You could just use your bronzer too. When I do my contour on my jawline, I just kind of like skim my jawline like that, and then I've got a little dimple, like a little fat pad back here, so I kind of bring that there. And sometimes I'll just take this right down the center of my neck, almost like contouring your nose. This kind of helps give you like the appearance of a longer, thinner neck. Now, when I do my contour, I have a broad nose, so I'm trying to make 2 very thin lines down my nose. My nose is kind of jumps out on this side too, so it's a little bit challenging to get very symmetrical thin lines on my nose. And then I just kind of take contour right down here at the tip and then kind of right here. So I kind of create a little button nose. Then the other place I'll add contour is right at the center of my lower lip to add a little bit of volume here. My lips are getting thinner. The only place on my body that's getting thinner, just like that. You can also use your contour to line your whole lips if you'd like. All right, let's do this side. And these don't have to be 100% symmetrical either. You can see this one's a little bit higher than this side of my face. It will all blend out at the end, and you can fix anything, like if your contour goes too low, you can fix it with your foundation shade. Now I'm gonna take my darkest shade. I have 3 foundation shades in my compact because I have different colors on my skin. I've got redness, I've got dark circles. So when I'm going to use my 3D foundation, I will take the shade Mango, and I like to apply it with my finger or just a little bit around, and I'm just kind of very lightly, and when I say I'm picking up product, it's a small amount, and I'm just kind of helping to conceal some of this redness here. Now you can use your Demi line for areas of discoloration, which I personally believe works even better, but honestly, they both work really well. So especially if I'm in a hurry, I will just use this Mango to color correct areas of redness, broken capillaries around the nose, just like that. And it's just a little bit of product, but it brings your face back into kind of harmony. Now I'm gonna just take a little bit again, right on this dark part of my eye, my under eye. Just like that. And you can see that it helps. I still have the bag. The bag's not going away. but it will help to cancel out some of this dark blue. And then I'll go back and brighten with a lighter shade. But first I have to cancel out the darkness. Or what would happen is if you just put your brightening shade around your under eye and you have dark circles, then what's going to happen is later that darkness will peep through your lighter shade. So by going in and canceling out that darkness, it's still cream, so it still leaves very sheer. It's not really opaque like a lot of concealers are. So what happens is that if you use too much product under your eye, especially when you've got texture like I do, then you're going to end up seeing that product or that texture show through when you use too light of a shade. So this is like a couple steps up from this shade, and this is a couple steps lighter than this shade, so that they still all work in harmony, and it gives you that three-dimensional main shade. This is the color that most closely resembles my natural skin color. And this is way too much, but I'm just going to show you where this goes. So I will take my main shade all along the sides, almost like if a man had a beard, like this area. So I'm going to do this. This will help cancel out some of this redness here. And then my next area is I'll go up here and up here, kind of right under that contour line. That's the only place that I really add much of my main shade, kind of here and here. Okay, brightening shade is the lightest color. The brightening shade will go in the center of your face so that it brings a lot of light to the center of your face. I will take it down the center of my contour, right on the tip of my nose, right here. And then I usually tell you not to layer a lot of products, but when you're doing such a thin layer of color correction, it's fine to go in and add a little bit of brightness on your chin. I also take it on the inner corner of my eye. Same thing here. If you've used your color corrector, I wouldn't take this all the way down here unless you have no texture at all. I have texture, so I just take it on the outer corner of my eye, and then the top of my brow bone, above like this, here, here, and here. And that's your brightening shade. Cream bronzer, if you're using that with your contour, is usually just right here. Think about your bronzer going anywhere the sun would naturally hit your face, which is kind of the sides of the face, the sides of your temples. And then I go right above my contour here. And then you can put it a little bit across your nose. We're now to lip and cheek. So I usually just kind of take this between my bronzer. And I like my blush going up high because I'm trying to lift everything. You can add your blush to the center of your face if you're trying to bring fullness to your cheeks. Now, a lot of times I'll take a gloss and just kind of apply it right here because it'll be sheer and it kind of gives this ombre effect. Remember, your lip and cheek are for both. And you could even use some of the lip and cheeks that are the satins on your eyes as eyeshadow. This makeup is multi-purpose, so it's all basically the same ingredient, so it blends really well everywhere. Now it's time to blend. Whatever brush you got, this is the blush and bronzer brush. Now you're going to kind of stamp and press this makeup in. I usually start the lighter areas first. So all of my brightening contour, my regular main shade, I'm just kind of tapping and pressing. When you're blending this, you're not swirling all these colors together. So you can stamp again, press and stipple your contour and then just blend it up, and you'll still be able to see where your blush and your bronzer and your contour just kind of hug and marry one another. Then it's going to look natural, dewy. It's not going to look slick and oily. So you should be able to press your skin and it feels like there's nothing on it. It feels just like your skin. Then the last step after this is that you want to set your cream makeup. So I like this product a lot. It's the e.l.f. All Night Micro Mist, and I do that 3 X's across my face, and then I let that dry. Now the last step I do is I like to take my bronzer and I bring it down my neck. I want everything to match. If you bought an illuminator, then an illuminator is going to provide a dewy sheen to the face if it's cream. If it's powder, it's going to pack more punch, so it's going to show up a little brighter. I personally like to take the cream illuminator, this is Honey, and I just like tap it with my finger here on the high points of my cheekbone. I can take it down the center of my nose. It is pretty on the lower part of your lip, and then right at your Cupid's bow. If you want to apply it there too, you can do the top of your brow bone. Let me do this side. And it just gives this beautiful sheen to the face.